Hello there, Capricorn. It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we're going to be doing your weekly tarot. So this is good for the week of August 15th through the 21st. So we're going to first take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. And if you're enjoying the content that I create or resonating with the message, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider liking, commenting, subscribing. I really do appreciate all of your support. All right, so let's get into reading. Let's see what you have coming up this week. Wow. All right, so this, first of all, I want to look at all that yellow, right? Sacral chakra, be spirit, sweet results await. Very nice energy. One of my favorite cards. One of my favorite cards. An emotional desert, inactivity, isolation. Okay, so the message that I'm getting with this is that, you may be kind of going into a little bit of a hermit energy at this time. Really trying to figure out, okay, I'm not going to listen to what everybody else thinks I should do with my life. I'm going to dismiss everything. It's almost like in your mind, you're putting in a clean slate, right? And then you're thinking about what it is that you truly want in your life. And then I feel like in this moment of being by yourself, it's kind of like, okay, what does, because this says isolation, inactivity, emotional desert. I feel like right now you feel emotionally drained. Okay. And it's almost as if you need this time. And maybe go on a vacation by yourself, just one night, if you can go away, just one night, and, journal or something like that. Walk in the woods, just kind of disconnect from the world, your everyday world. And I know that's not possible for everybody, but if you can even do it for a few hours, because I feel as if you're emotionally drained from the world, that your everyday world at this time. So it's really hard for you to even think about what it is that you want. It's about pulling yourself away from the other people in your life. Just temporary, just for, a few hours a day or so, and really kind of thinking to yourself, what does my heart say? What is it that I want? What sweet results do I want? And then it's kind of like you can put a plan of action in. I feel as if, wow, that's, I feel like you're coming into this because it's the number 11 too, twin flame energy, master number. But it's really, I feel like you're coming into this. Yeah, this is the number 7. I feel like you're really moving into your soul's purpose. It could be that you have been in a job, a career that has emotionally drained you and you're not sure why, right? And now you're coming into this energy of, why am I so drained? And it could be that you're awakening to the idea, it's because I'm not following my heart. I'm following, perhaps a career path that my family wanted me to have, or I've just been in this career for a very long time, as we age, our preferences about things change, I've had 3 totally different careers in my life, and I've enjoyed each one of them. Each one of them brought me different experiences. But the interesting thing is that at some point we're just kind of like burnt out, and I feel like you're burnt out. You're burnt out. If you're feeling burnt out and you're kind of like, yeah, but this is the career I always wanted. This is the dream job that I always wanted, or this job pays me a lot of money. It's also about asking yourself, well, have you just gotten to the expiration date? Have you gone as far as you can? Has this brought you as far as it possibly can? Is it time to just open your mind to other possibilities? Yeah, it's, very much a sense of time is slipping away. I want to be happy, that type of energy. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the tarot. Let's get you some answers. We're going to take a look at your present energy at this time. Then we're going to take a look at the main obstacle that you have this week. Pieces on the bottom, I like that. And advice from Spirit. You know, how you can perhaps, change inactivity into taking action on things that are going to bring you either the results, or I feel like it's more of a fulfillment that you're looking for, more satisfaction. Yeah. Okay, Sun is on the bottom, Capricorn. This has a really, really lovely energy. And look at this, lots of green here. Okay, so this is your heart chakra. This is stepping into knowing that when you're really following your heart, you're doing those things that you really and truly enjoy, no matter what anybody else thinks about them, right? That you're going to find the joy and the abundance in your work and in your life. So let's take a look at your present energy. Yeah, here you are. You're working really hard. You're taking lots of action. This is the divine masculine energy. We all have divine masculine and feminine. This is you working really hard, really working on the pentacles, okay? Because the divine masculine is all about producing. You know, how much can I produce? How many hours a day can I work? But with the Four of Cups, it's not satisfying you. You're discontent with your life. You know, you have this emotional desert. You're just kind of like, okay, I'm working super hard, but for some of you, you could be, trying to build your bank account or something like that. I feel like you had a reading like this last week, but at some point it's kind of like, okay, is the money in the bank bringing you the happiness that you are truly seeking, right? I feel like, there's been a big shift in how much money, I've been around on this planet for a while. And, through the decades, society has different priorities. Let's put it that way, right? And I feel like we're kind of in, one of those societal moves, and not that we need to follow society, but it's really more about, I want fulfillment. I want to wake up every day and be excited. I don't want to wake up and feel ho-hum. And not that every day, even when you're following your soul's purpose and, your heart is singing for the work that you are doing and you're feeling really good about it, there's going to be days where you still have to answer emails or, do the tedious tasks that make you feel like, oh, really? Do I have to still do this? Yes, but Capricorn, you're good at that. You're good at getting the work done that needs to be done. So, okay, so let's see what we have here. Yeah. Okay, Page of Cups, giving yourself some love. Okay, so we have the Hermit energy here. I feel like this is you going a little bit into this Hermit energy, taking a really good look at how, the Hermit is the wise one. I feel like you're going within in order to take a look at the conflict that you're causing yourself, the drama. And if there are people in your life that are causing drama, it's kind of like, yeah, they're sabotaging my happiness. But at the same time, sometimes we have to realize that when we are staying in a situation that is not bringing us any fulfillment, if anything, it's bringing us conflict in our life, that we're sabotaging ourselves. We're sabotaging our own happiness, the own results that we are looking for. And, sometimes we can do that for a very short amount of time. I mean, we've all been there where, you stay at a job an extra 6 months so you can get the next bonus or whatever it is. But if you're looking for a period of time that's probably, more than, say, a year, right? Then it's kind of like, okay, what else are you going to put into place to make sure that you can find some type of fulfillment or excitement about life while you're still having to work a job that you don't particularly care for, and we all have bills to pay. So, It's easy to say, go follow your heart, but sometimes the reality is that we have financial responsibilities. But in the meantime, can you start a side business that really gets your heart going? Something to look forward to when you get home. Is there, an activity, a hobby that maybe you have put off to the side because you're so busy working? Can you cut back your work hours a little bit so that you have more time for enjoyment? Because right now it appears that, I'm not saying you're like totally upset about your life, but you are in this energy of not feeling fulfilled, of not being happy, of not being joyful about your life. And with this emotional desert, it does kind of bring up the fact that you're looking for the sunshine in your life, right? The sun. And then you have the sun here. It's like, how do I get, to the abundance, the joy that I'm looking for? So your obstacle, this is what you're overcoming this week. This is what you're doing. You're going within with the higher power here. You're taking that time out. You're deciding, okay, what direction do I want to take? I love this Two of Wands because, she's holding the earth in her hands, but she's looking at the moon. It's kind of like, to me, the earth is kind of your energy. It's the tangible, what we have in our hands at this moment, the reality of our life and what we are dreaming for, right? Like I'm shooting for the moon. This is what I have, but I'm trying to shoot for the moon. I'm trying to bring in those sweet results that I don't seem to be holding right now, And this could be, maybe you're saving up to buy a new house, or maybe you're in a job because it has really good benefits, right, that you couldn't have if you started your own business. So it's taking a look at, okay, if I have to stay in some sort of situation for now, right, how can I also bring more joy into my life? Yeah, it's okay. Underneath here, yeah, we have peace. You find peace in your truth, stepping into your truth, understanding that, it's kind of interesting. Pisces had somewhat of a similar read. It's kind of like stepping into your truth and getting real with yourself. It could be that you feel like, well, it's my job that's holding me back, but it's almost as if you step into the truth of understanding, well, maybe my job is holding me back from having the happiness, the fulfillment, the joy that I'm looking for in my life. Right? But it is helping me to really get ahead financially at this time. So I have to be, it's about being grateful then for the job, and also trying to find that time in order to do things that your heart really does desire to do, whether, that's traveling or a hobby or starting a side business. Yeah, really interesting, because I feel really, Two of Wands again. I feel like you're making a big decision this week about how you want to proceed. It has been a long journey. This is the Nine of Wands. So this is the wounded warrior. You've been in this fight for some time. I feel like that's why you have this emotional desert. We've all been there where, we've had a job or a situation or a relationship. It could be anything. That is draining, but we stay in it for a while because there's either we don't want to make a change, right? Which is, we're fearful of making a change. Or the other thing is that we think, well, I just have to stay here a little bit longer and then things will work out. They'll get better. At some point, we have to kind of ask ourselves, didn't I say things were going to get better like 5 years ago? And they're still the same, right? I've been in a situation like that, I had this job once, and it wasn't for 5 years, but I had this job once where I just kept saying, it's going to be better next month. This little project is going to be over, and then it'll be better next month because things won't be as busy or as stressful, right? And then the next month something else would come up, and then the next month something else would come up, and then after like a year I was like, what? Like, things are not changing here. The only thing that can change is me. Either I have to change my attitude, the way that I look at this situation, right? Or I have to choose to leave the situation. Because the situation is not going to change. So Capricorn, I think if you think the situation is going to change, or you're going to be able to talk somebody else into changing, the truth of the matter is that I feel like this week you realize that the only person that can change is you. And you can either change your thought pattern about this situation, or you can leave the situation, right? And I feel like that's where you are this week, You're looking at the reality of the situation and now saying to yourself, okay, what else is out there that I would maybe prefer to have? So you have the wounded warrior, but look at this. Yeah, going forth in hopes of finding your 10 cups, whatever that is, Really interesting. I have a couple of aunts and uncles. That passed at what I would say is an earlier age, and, they, especially two uncles that I can think of, they worked really super hard. They acquired quite a bit of tangible things in their life. They were also married and had a family and all that, right? But they worked really hard to have these tangible things. And then their health gave out on them, and they passed at a relatively young age. And I remember the one uncle always saying, yeah, well, I'm building up a bank account for my retirement days. And then he didn't ever, I feel like there's almost that energy right here, And I'm not saying you're getting close to retirement or anything, but I feel like there's this energy, time is too short. You could have had a relative or a friend pass recently that has maybe, because I think it's interesting. They're bringing that story up for me to share. It's kind of interesting. I think you're kind of like looking at it, in the mirror and saying to yourself, yeah, life is too short. Why am I putting so much time and energy and action into things that are not fulfilling me? Just really, and you're understanding that the reason is that you are holding yourself back, with the 7 of Swords. You're the one that is creating this reality for yourself. That is the hardest lesson, right? That is the hardest lesson. And we all kind of get to that point where, sometimes several times in our lives with, So be gentle with yourself as you're going through this, And then the thing is that once you figure out what your heart really is desiring, it's as if you're going to see more joy, even if you have to stay in this job like another 6 months or a year, right? You're going to be more joyful because you have a different result waiting for you, but make it tangible. Don't make it just that a little bit too much pie in the sky, right? Like my uncle who was like, yeah, well, I'm going to have all this money, yeah. I mean, I've come to that reality, that nobody in my family on either side of my family has lived long. I have no longevity genes. And although I'm, healthy, thank you, at this time, it's kind of like, I kind of look at it as if, some people have really longevity in their life. I don't. So it's kind of like, you look at life a little bit differently. And I think that's where you are here, because here, Capricorn, you're coming into your own energy, but we have the Fool card. This has come to the edge, but this is the same as the Fool card about taking a risk, going in a different way. You don't want to, Okay, you don't want to. There's some reason because you're attached to something. You're attached to a certain belief system, or you're attached to a certain, mindset that you have. Really interesting. Some people I know when I was growing up, like, you didn't retire until you were 65, I think. It was like you turned 65, you got the gold watch, you were done, right? And then you went off and played golf or whatever, right? And I remember that my father, he had an opportunity to retire early because the economy changed, and so they were offering retirement packages, and he was not yet 65. I think he was like maybe 58, 59, and he was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna take that. And he did. And he knew that he was going to have to, my mom and dad, they had to change their lifestyle a little bit, right? But it was kind of like, yeah. And, in a way, it really worked out, because, I think looking back on it now, I hadn't really thought about that. That was actually a really good move for him. And it was really against all of the thinking that he had grown up with. It was, no, you wait till 65, you get your gold watch. And so anyway, I feel like there's some type of, thinking pattern, belief that you have that is preventing, the death card just dropped out. It's ending some type of thinking that is holding you back. I can't retire until I'm 65. I have to have this much money in the bank before I can retire. Whatever it is. And I don't know why the retirement is coming up in this so much. Yeah, oh my goodness. A Lover's on the bottom. It's really and truly about letting go of this belief system that is holding you back. You are holding on to something, right? It's a new thinking pattern. It's a new opportunity that you are taking that, I feel like you're getting good news. It's time to go. This is the old tarot choice card. This is the Gemini card too, but it's about making choices that are good for you. I feel like you're sounding the alarm. I feel like for some of you, you take like a couple of days off or a couple of hours off, whatever you can do, right? And you're kind of like, what is it that I want? You could be working significantly for yourself, but maybe other people that are somewhat financially, attached to you. And it's kind of like, okay, I've got to revamp this because I'm not happy. You could be working really hard making other people happy, but you're not happy. It's about stepping into your strength and courage, right? In order to bring in your own happiness, in order to have, the Queen of Pentacles, that's your energy, but it's also one of my favorite cards because she really takes good care of herself. She makes herself a top priority. She has her financial stability, but she's taking good care of herself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. She's, taking good care of her home, of her health. It's about, okay, I've got to make some changes here. I'm ending the belief system of one thing and stepping into something else. Wow, really, I feel like this is putting you on a completely new path. And I want to point out that it also brings you peace and joy and abundance. It's about stepping into your truth. Sometimes we don't realize just how unhappy we are until somebody may say something to you at work this week, or, you're, a family member or a friend or something like that. And you're like, I'm just emotionally drained. I'm burnt out. That's a hard energy, right? Okay, there are no wrong turns. Okay, so this is, I feel like this is you. It's a little bit like that scenario where people thought, no, I have to work till 65, then I get my gold watch and I'm done, right? Then I get to go play golf. It's like, no, you get to rewrite what it is that's going to make you happy, you know? Yeah, it's about taking another look at it. Understanding that you can bring in some new thinking, that this, okay, this thinking pattern, and I really feel like it's a pattern of thinking for you, okay, that you're just kind of like, well, this is the way it's always been, you know? I mean, I'll have to admit, when my dad retired early, he was just kind of like, wow, this isn't the way I had it planned. This is not the way it was supposed to work out. But, you know, then they did. They revamped their lifestyle and, you know, they moved and they had a lot of fun, you know? And I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that they did. So anyway, yeah, I think it's really interesting. And I think that you're going, do not be worried. I feel like you're worried. If I make a change in my plan, then it's not going to work out. I think you make a change in your plan and it does work out. I mean, this is about as peaceful and joyful and as abundant as it could possibly be. Yeah. All right, Capricorn, I'd love to hear. What are you making a big decision about this week? You know, you're holding your reality and looking at the moon. You're going for something. There's something that's you're longing for. Go for it. Okay, or just take the first step. That's all you have to do. Just take the first step. Then the next step. Don't worry, you don't have to pack up your car and move away this week. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. And I hope to see you again really soon. And I wish you much love and light this week. And always have a great day. Bye for now.